Hello folks. Now I've had a request from one of my YouTube subscribers, which is amazing in itself because I've never had a request ever before, and the request was just asking my take on CharCloth and how to make it and its uses. Anyone can find out how to make it. It's easy. There's loads of videos on it. I'm not going to tell you anything new really. You're not going to find out any miracle method, but it's just how I do it. And I'm here out in the woods at the moment. Been doing a few nights away, and the fire is just burning down nicely, and I've got some really red hot embers in there. And I thought, well, while I'm here I'll go about it, because I brought a new tin with me, and I've already cut up a few bits of cloth. As long as this is not a man-made, in other words a synthetic or anything like that, you'll be fine. And basically anything that's cotton will do, and 100% cotton is ideal. And it was an old cloth of some sort. I've just cut it up into strips and bits and pieces, because you never really want great big bits, and you just sort of sling it in a tin a bit randomly. I've probably cut up too much here, so I'm only going to sling in maybe about half dozen bits. And then you want a tin that's got a reasonably tight fitting lid. Now if you put it in the fire, it's going to heat up, and the idea is it's going to burn and char the cloth that's in there. Obviously if it's got a lid on it, then that way it's going to build up pressure and it's going to blow the lid off or explode. So you need to put a hole in it, in the tin. And I've seen some people put one hole, other people put 3 holes. To be honest, as long as the air can escape and the pressure can get stabilised, then it's not gonna really matter if it's 1, 2 or 3 holes. The only time I find I have a problem sometimes is a flame will come out of there with the gases escaping from the cloth. And what you want to do then is just find yourself a twig and just put a little bit of a point on it that allows that twig then to go into the hole that you've just done, because you want to plug that hole if you see any flames coming out, because otherwise the char cloth will be just completely burnt and disintegrate. So you want to make sure that fits nicely. That will plug the hole, stop the oxygen, and therefore any flames in there will go out. That's the preparation done. A tin, a hole, a twig, some cloth, cotton, and a fire that's hot. It's not rocket science. My little serving stick to stop me getting my hands burnt to a shrimp. Plonk him in, quickly lob the top off, and put a few embers around the can. And all you do is sit and wait. Now you can see the smoke coming out of that can already. It's been a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. It gives you some indication of the amount of heat that's in them embers actually. But that's what you want to see. Nothing more than that. So if we see a flame, I'm going to stick the stick in top of it. Now if we look now, there's actually very little smoke coming out of that hole. So there's no more smoke coming out of that tin, and that tells me it's completely burnt off and ready to come out of the fire. So I'm going to leave that there now for 5 or 10 minutes to cool down before we have a little look at it. But a very simple process. Like I say, there's hundreds of videos on CharCloth, and that's one way to make it. Now, I'm now going to show you another way, because what happens if you haven't got a tin? And if you want a reliable method of making fire that's compact, lightweight, and will give you an ember every time, then CharCloth is a very good medium to use. So if you haven't got a tin, it's still the same method. You're still going to want to be charring the actual cloth itself. So if I take a piece of cloth like this and I put it over here, I'm going to try and get this to ignite. So what I'm actually doing is exactly the same principle as what's happening in the tin, except for it's open over the fire here like this. Now you see it's burning. You want to get to a point where it burns as much as possible without it going to a crisp. And then extinguish the flame. Now what you've got here is the same as what's in that tin, charred cloth, but it won't be as good. It seems to shrivel up a lot more doing it this way. It's a lot more brittle this way, and it seems to go thinner, but it's still a charred cloth. And how many seconds did that take? You know, 30 seconds to complete the whole thing. So that now I have a piece of charred cloth that I can use as a flint and steel, and that will give me a reliable ember to start any fire. And obviously that weighs absolutely nothing in your kit bag. So it's cooled down enough now. There you are. All the cloth nicely charred, and the best way to use this is actually with a flint and a steel. And all you do is and find a decent edge. There we go. You see that glowing? Now that'll glow like that now for quite a while. Obviously it'll give you enough time to put it into a tinder bundle, a bird's nest, and start a fire. But because it's such a high carbon content now, it will catch the spark off of this flint and off of this steel very easy, and it holds it, and it's actually very hot. And it will stay like that for quite a while. I can just hold it on there, like that. So if you had your bird's nest ready, just plonk it in it, a few gentle breaths and you're away. You see that's burning for, what, 30 seconds? At least 30 seconds. And that was just a small piece. Then like I say, I cut them up into little bits. So they'll burn, say, a minute. Oh, okay. So there you have it. How to make char cloth my way. There's some other things in here. This actually may not have been fully 100% because there's some quite a funny looking debris in the bottom there. Unless it's come off of this new can. But anyway, I've got myself some new char cloth. I shall put that with my other stock and use it as and when. So there you have it, folks, my take on how to make char cloth. Not really that much different to everybody else's take that you probably watched on YouTube. No real secrets to it. It's just a case of practice and then practice again, because I can assure you, you will fail. 9 times out of 10 I fail. A lot of videos are edited on YouTube, and you see them now, like, oh, I'm going to light a fire, ping, 1 strike, fire, like, beautiful. Doesn't really work that way, you know. There's an awful lot of failure in bushcraft and survival and the outdoors in general. But you saw an unedited version there of how to make char cloth. I do it like that every time, and it works for me. So please try it. Don't just watch, try it, and then you'll see all the variables, and you'll put something together that works for you. And that applies to everything out here in the woods. Come out here, get stuck in, and realise it is fantastic being out here, but you're going to fail. And every time you fail, you get better and better and better. And there are some really good people, instructors out there. There's some fantastic people on YouTube. I don't consider myself knowledgeable by any means, but I'm always welcome. I'm always willing to do something if someone has asked me to show them, and if I can do it, I will. So again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing and following the YouTube channel and following the website. And I will see you on the next video. So take care, everyone. Bye for now.